When you look at a globe, it seems obvious. A straight line from Sydney to Buenos Aires, or from Cape Town to Auckland, would cross Antarctica. It would save thousands of kilometers. So why don't commercial flights take this route? Why do modern planes capable of flying halfway across the world deliberately avoid the southernmost continent? Is it because they're not allowed to? Or because there's something being hidden from us? No, the truth is far more grounded and far more dangerous. Let's start with the facts. There is no law that prohibits flying over Antarctica. There is no international treaty banning flights across the South Pole. And there are no hidden zones that planes are legally restricted from crossing. But even without any such bans, no major airline flies directly over the Antarctic continent. And the reasons are chilling, literally. Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth. Temperatures regularly drop below -50 degrees Celsius, and in some places have reached a record of -93. For aircraft, this isn't just uncomfortable, it's potentially catastrophic. At such extreme cold, fuel can freeze, hydraulic systems can fail, and electronics become unstable. Even for military or scientific planes, flying over Antarctica is an operation that requires special preparation and backup systems. But what if a plane had an emergency? Say engine failure or cabin depressurization. Over the oceans or populated areas, pilots can divert to alternate airports. But in the middle of Antarctica, there's nothing. No cities, no proper runways, no emergency services, no possibility of a safe landing. That brings us to a regulation called ETOPS, Extended Range Twin Engine Operational Performance Standards. This rule defines how far a twin-engine aircraft can fly from the nearest suitable airport in case of an emergency. Even with modern aircraft rated for ETOPS 180 or more, meaning they can be up to 3 hours away from an emergency landing spot, Antarctica is simply too isolated. The entire continent is a no-go zone in terms of diversion options. Then there's the weather. Antarctica is home to some of the world's strongest winds, especially the polar vortex, with gusts over 200 kilometers per hour. The skies are often covered with whiteout conditions, where the difference between sky and ground becomes invisible. Add icing, unexpected turbulence, and zero visual landmarks, and you have one of the most dangerous airspaces on the planet. And if that weren't enough, navigation is another massive challenge. Standard compasses fail near the South Pole. GPS satellites orbit near the equator, meaning their accuracy drops sharply in polar regions. Communication with air traffic control is limited. Radar coverage is non-existent. If something goes wrong, no one will know, and no one can help. Now let's talk economics. Even if a route over Antarctica could technically work, would it make sense? No. There's no demand for point-to-point flights across the southern pole. No one is flying from McMurdo Station to the South Pole and onward to Santiago. Airlines only fly routes that people actually book. And because there are no major cities in Antarctica, there's simply no commercial incentive to open polar routes. Even some seemingly obvious routes, like Sydney to Buenos Aires or Johannesburg to Auckland, which might be shorter over Antarctica, are flown the long way around, either across the Pacific, via the US, or through the Middle East. The detour adds fuel costs and time, but it guarantees safety, infrastructure, and emergency options. And that's worth more than any shortcut. There's one more factor: environmental protection. The Antarctic Treaty isn't about airspace restrictions, but it does emphasize minimizing human impact on the environment. If a plane were to crash there, and fuel or debris contaminated the pristine ice, cleanup would be impossible. So while it's not strictly illegal, airlines choose not to risk the ecological consequences of a catastrophic event. Despite all that, flights over Antarctica do happen, but they are rare. Scientific missions fly from New Zealand to research bases like McMurdo. There are even occasional sightseeing tours where passengers fly over the ice sheets before returning home the same day. But these flights are specially certified, carry extra safety gear, and never venture far from coastal regions. None of them cross the center of Antarctica, and none are scheduled commercial flights. So no, there's no secret military base, no hidden world at the South Pole, just physics, weather, regulations, and a whole lot of common sense. Subscribe us for more videos.